Hi, and welcome to AI 101, an ITO workshop led by Mark Schwantz. This video is a recording of the session held July 19th, 2023. This intro was created with DID.
Well, good morning, everybody. How are you doing today? Welcome to Artificial Intelligence, or AI 101. This workshop was a combination of efforts between myself and other coordinators, including Scott, who just joined. And it was originally scheduled to be offered by Christopher Hong, Dr. Christopher Hong, our colleague, but he has been promoted to another position. And he said, Mark, would you please take the session? And I said, gladly so. So that's the background, and I'm sticking to it. I can't see anybody here, so let me know if you're not hearing me or if you're not seeing the screen. Sometimes I'm not sharing the right window. By the way, this session is being recorded. Well, a little bit about myself. I got creative with Midjourney and I did a blend. I blended my photo, nice little headshot there, would you say, and Mr. Sherman from Mr. Peabody and Sherman. And that middle picture was the result. I thought that was rather hilarious. Any thumbs up? No? Okay. Yeah, I got it. I have a crying emoji. That's good. Well, this session today should give you a chance to learn about and practice some different AI that's out there. And we'll take a minute to introduce ourselves with an image generation application. It's called Dream AI. So we'll do that in just a second. First, I want to show you our agenda for the day. We're looking today at 5 different sections. We'll talk about the foundations of AI, algorithms, and machine learning. We'll use some AI. We'll look at issues and/or concerns with AI and future trends of AI in education. So I'm curious about your background and your interest. Let's list some of those in the chat. I see somebody asking about the PowerPoint. Well, I'm going to put that link for the slides here in the chat. That's the Google slide, and you should have access to it with that link. So April, you're welcome. How about some comments in the chat about what your concern is regarding AI? For example, is your concern just that it's used responsibly and safely in our classrooms? Or is your concern more about productivity, that you could be more productive and use it to your organization's, your school's advantage? So I'll put that question. Joe says a lack of support for technology in the classroom. Interesting. Jeanette says production and accuracy. I think, Jeanette, you mean productivity? Good. What's your concern? Yes? Okay, great. Well, I have a little poll EV, so let's do this. I'll put the link here in the chat. This is poll EV, pollev.com/Mark Schwantz. It should take you to that link. There's basically just 2 questions here. Let's see if this works. There's also a scan code at the top right, if you see that, if you want to use your phone. The poll question is, I have used artificial intelligence. Very basic. Have you ever used artificial intelligence? Intentionally or unintentionally? Anyone have a question about that question? Oh, hey, it's working. Very good. Oh, just a little bit, another comment on the schedule for today. About midway through, we will be taking a break. So we'll go from there. And I know we're scheduled to go to 3 hours. we'll see. Someone had asked me earlier if they had to leave early. I said, well, we might be able to finish early, but we'll see. In any event, we are recording this session. Okay, good. We have somebody, some responses. Some have said frequently. So I talked to Joe earlier. Joe has used ChatGPT for 2 years as a teacher. Joe, do you want to mention anything about that? That was very interesting. Sounds like you were an early adopter of artificial intelligence as a teacher.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yes. So I've been using, I started out with ChatGPT and then have transitioned to Bard from the beginning, and I've used it to generate unit plans, lessons, summative assessments, and other things besides just basic research, generate poetry, songs, and I've offered it to my learners to just introduce them to the technology.
Man, Joe, I want to be in your class. Maybe I should figure out a way to sneak in there. That sounds exciting. You're lucky.
The
Students
door is
are
always open, Mark. Always open.
That's great. Anybody else want to speak to that? Your experience here? I know some had said never, so I guess you can't really comment on that. Or maybe you have never used artificial intelligence just because you didn't have the opportunity. Like, Joe.
Can I butt in, Mark, for a second?
Of course, you just did. That's great. Go ahead.
That's a good point. Excellent. I want to point out that even if they said never, if they use YouTube, if they use Siri, if they use Google Maps, Waze, so many different things, that they are using AI. They may not be using the generative AI, such as ChatGPT. Right. But other AIs are kind of integrated into our life, social media, especially.
Good point. Good point. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Ready? Let's see, how do I do that? It's not clicking. Oh, there we go. Okay, how about specifically, I have used ChatGPT or another generative AI. This kind of goes with what Scott was just saying, that, you might have used AI as part that's integrated in another application. For example, Microsoft Office has been integrating machine learning and other forms of AI into their products, and they have Designer, they have some other things. Okay, I'm seeing some yeses, some nos, and some unsures. Good, interesting. Joe, I don't mean to keep bugging you, but I'm also curious about, how did you get started using ChatGPT? Was it just because you were trying to find the best resources you could to help with bringing technology to your students?
Yeah, I'll go yes with that. Okay, it's I've been incorporating technology since 2002 at every level, and have gone to a lot of professional developments and do a lot of reading, and this just emerged and sounded real interesting and very compelling, and so I've just hopped on the train.
Good. Great. Well, great stuff. Does anyone want to speak to the unsure? I know 23% here said unsure. Why did you say unsure? What is ChatGPT? Okay, if that's in the chat. Malau, are you saying that you've never heard of ChatGPT, or you're not sure how it works? Okay, never worry. Oh, go ahead. Yeah. Malau?
I'll chime in here for a second, Mark.
Okay,
Once
great,
you were
thanks.
saying about the Microsoft designer,
Yes.
I was one of the ones that had put unsure because at first I was like, well, I'm not sure if I used it, but once you explained it a little bit more, then I think that I have used it if that's considered part of the AI process. Microsoft PowerPoint designer, like
Yeah.
creating different designs and just trying to come up with different ways of presenting on slides. So it's not just kind of like your straightforward, slides to make it a little bit more interesting. So that initially, that's why I put unsure, but as you explained a little bit more, I'm like, okay, I think I have used it.
Good, thanks, Jesus. Yeah, I've had that experience too. As I've learned more about AI, that I've been able to see that I was using AI a lot before I realized it. But there is a difference between being a inadvertent user because it's embedded in different products, and an intentional user to create or to to innovate, or especially as we're focused on education, really help make learning more engaging. And that's why I sometimes am concerned about people applying generative AI like ChatGPT to make better worksheets, to make like old-fashioned learning material. So anyway, just something that I've given some thought to. Well, let's introduce ourselves with AI. So you can see here, I have 3 photos that I created with Dream.ai. Dream.ai is a free app. It has a web access, so I'm going to go there. The company is Wombo. Now, I'm already logged in, but if you haven't used it before, you'll need to create a free account if you want to do this activity with us. It's fairly straightforward, but the idea is to describe yourself however you'd like to, create an image, and then add it to our icebreaker here. I'm going to give you the slides. Here it is. It's called AI Introductions. Let me just make sure that the sharing permissions are set. I'll put this in the chat in a second. Go ahead and get a look at the Dream.ai and see if you can get to the same prompt that I'm sharing on the screen. You are seeing my screen, correct? Yeah, I'm still sharing.
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to share my slides in the chat. Just give me a second. I'm letting it load. Sharing to you the correct link. And if I could get someone to help me put in a prompt. Just a second. Okay, so yes, anyone with the link should be able to edit. Here it is. Here's the slide deck. So basically, you can just find a slide that is on there and add your photo and a description. I'll show you what I did with mine. Oh good, we already have some people there. I described myself this way: headshot of a bald 50-something white man, blonde beard on a mountain bike. That's the photo. Actually, it's not too bad, as far as being close to my actual persona. Okay, so can I get some help here with this prompt? Maybe you could describe yourself or someone else, and we'll see what we can generate. Oh, first, before we do this, I want to make a disclaimer that I can't control the image generated, and any reference to a recognizable person or place is unintentional. And of course, I can't control that there would be maybe something that's offensive. So we have to take that into account. Okay, so does anyone want to help me with a prompt? Or how about if I do this? Since I don't have any volunteers, let me do that same prompt again and see if I get the similar image. Let me just copy that. There we go. Copy that prompt. So here we go. Oh, I need to choose an art style. I'm going to use realistic. Create. And, you know, I've noticed as I've used this, sometimes it's pretty slow. Oh, there we go. That is not a blonde beard. Well, the mustache is blonde. Let me see if I can change that up. I'm just going to try another art style. Let's go with figure. Maybe a little bit more cartoonish. And don't be surprised if it gives you this error message. That happened to me often too, where it goes to creating. Oh, interesting. So if you click on the image, I think no, this isn't Midjourney. I'm just going to go ahead and download that so I can see it bigger. It made it like a trading card, huh? There we go. It's going to be over here. Okay, I want to know, does anybody have those up there yet? Nope. It didn't let me view it. Don't know what happened. See if we have, I'm going to check the slides and see if we have anybody sharing. Nope. Okay, of course it takes time, so we're still working on that. Dream by Wombo. I want to try a different absurd. Let's try that. I just encourage you, like, especially with tools like this that are free and open, just play with them and have some fun. I mean, that's what your students are going to do. You know, I also could change my prompt. That's look like I was from a monastery or something. Great. Oh, I see. If I click finalize, then I can name it and then publish it. Monk Arc. Publish. Now it's on my gallery and I can download it from there. Background image. Interesting. This, you know, Dream has changed in the like a week since I've spent some time with it. Or I didn't notice these before. Let's see what I got here. Interesting. That is, wow. It looks like an oil painting. Very, very cool. It looks kind of, he looks kind of sad. Okay. I want to hear some comments. What's your experience of the Dream app? Go ahead and just open your mic and
how do I upload it? How do you upload?
Oh, great. Hi, Jeanette. Can I show you that?
Hi, Mark.
Hi. So I'm going to take the one I did out. I just deleted it. When you're in the slides, click Insert.
Okay. I'll show you
Image,
what I got.
and then Upload. And then put it right in there. Oh, hi, Jeanette.
We're doing Google Slides.
It's good to see you. Yeah, we're just
Good to see you
inserting.
too.
And it's
This
going
is
to
fun.
yeah, it is great. And it's most likely going to put it right there into downloads. So
Let me do that now.
there it is. Okay, so there's my monk. And wow, that's just, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop that. So I'm going to take out the, oh, that's not the right, nope, don't want to do that. I want to take this and crop that. So there we go. It's more squarish. And then of course, it's going to, it took out the mountain bike. And this was the style of, let me go back. The style was absurd V2. V2. Okay, good. All right, I still am waiting. Is anybody else working on this? We can see your image.
Working on it.
Okay, no problem. Take your time. Hi, Patricia. We have Quentin. He's working on his. I remember like a couple of years ago, first trying one of those apps that you can just put on your phone that ages you. You know, you get a snapshot of yourself, and then it uses AI to generate a photo with what you look like. It actually lets you change your appearance too. You could add hair, but it's just an incredible experience because you know, you're guessing, you're already hypothesizing what it's going to look like, and then you get to see it, and you go, wow. Okay, Quentin, how did you do?
How to do that. Hey, Mark, I have something interesting I noticed.
Yeah, go ahead.
So in
Share.
my prompt, I put Black and Japanese female, you know, something like that, right?
Right.
And I got a woman that kind of looked like me,
Mm-hmm.
but she looked older. I was telling B, does she look older than me? So then I put in another one and I got another, basically a Black woman.
Yeah.
When I put in kinder features, I used the word kinder features.
Yes.
The person looked Japanese.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. You know, that's very instructive. It's not you don't have to use these tools for long to see the bias that's embedded in the coding, that it's just there. And so
Yeah,
it's
because the kinder features prompted it to make me look more Japanese.
yeah,
Yeah, that was
exactly. And so those are great takeoff points when you're talking with students about AI, whether it's an image generation or text or whatever it might be. Great.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Thank you, Jeanette.
You're
Well,
welcome.
does anybody else want to share their introduction? Quentin, you're going to let your photo speak for itself. Oh, we have something coming in. Who's that? Oh, we're getting a description. Okay. Great. So as we're finishing those up, I would like to engage in a conversation on a question. And it's just this. And I'll put this in the chat so we have a stream happening here too. When you hear of AI, what do you think of? Now you can answer with one word, or you can answer with a phrase, a topic, and try to just share what first comes to your mind. Don't think about this too much. Terminator. Okay, very cool. Joe, I agree. Okay, Eric, algorithms. Good. Anybody want to share open mic? Feel free. Like to hear your voices. There are, you know, basically two sides that you could take for or against AI. Are you for or against? I'll be more specific in classrooms. So plus or minus, for or against. You personally, are you for or against? Probably most of you will say plus with guardrails. I mean, that's pretty much where I come in. Enthusiastic about the opportunities, but I want there to be some guardrails. For, oh, Joe and Thomas, you had to be that one to say neutral, right? That's great. Good answer. Good answer. I give a binary option and you pick the one in the middle. That's great. Headshot of a black and Japanese 50-year-old female, brown, medium skin with medium length curly hair sitting in nature. I like it. And I saw you chose that anime style. Beatrice, salt and pepper, long brown, female, creative, fun. Very fun. Whoa. That is artistic, isn't it? Who's the Picasso style?
I think it was called rose gold.
Rose gold? Okay.
Yeah.
Of course,
That's
probably
really
not.
cool.
Wow.
It's me,
That-
a mess. No.
What's that, Tammy?
I said that's me, a mess.
Oh, that's great. It is fun, you know, to be able to create something that's so artistic. Really starts to make me wonder about the future of art. Any other comments on for or against? Mostly I hear pluses. I love that neutral. Okay, we're gonna do a game here. How are we doing on time? 9:29. So Dream, I like ya, but I'm gonna leave ya. And if you want to share any more on the images, just let me know. Okay, we're coming back to my main slides. And we're looking at foundations. We've already started. You know, who was it that said Terminator in the chat? That is probably one of the first things a lot of people think of. Skynet. I like to think of don't close the hatch or open the hatch door. Hal, open the hatch door, Hal. What's the name of this one little funky robot there? Let me go back. This like 1950s style.
Lost in Space, but can't remember.
Oh, that's
the
Lost in
name.
Space. There you go.
Yeah, but I can't
thank
remember
you.
the name of the robot.
And
Danger
if
Will Robinson.
yeah, Danger Will Robinson, that's the one, right? I only think of the new one that they just made a couple years ago.
Show.
That robot was scary. Okay, did you think of self-driving cars in AI? Well, the game here is it AI or not? So in the chat, you can say yes or no, Y or in. Okay. Y or in, yes or no. Come on, take a side. Nobody can be neutral here. I'll wait for a few more to come in. It looks like it's pretty well split. And it is yes. It is AI. That's an AI generated photo. All right. AI or not? AI or not? Some say yes, some say no. April says yes. Beatrice and Jeanette say no. Now this could be arguable, but generally not. With Alexa, it's machine learning. It's not generative AI, let's just say. Okay, let's go on. AI or not? We've got a thermostat. Yeah, it looks like most of you agree here. In the case of the thermostat, no. It's programmed. I mean, you can program it, but that doesn't mean it's artificial intelligence. Okay. AI or not? I think I tricked you. This one we threw in to trick you because this one is a real photo, not AI. Although, I mean, it very well could be because you can't even tell the difference, right? This makes me think, though, of this interesting point. Wouldn't it be bizarre if I did that activity where I asked for a description and a photo, and it actually pulled up my photo? Like, I would really be, I don't know what I would do. I would think, well, how did they get my image, and how did it get associated with myself? You know, that would just be crazy. All right, a couple more. AI or not? I'll just read this because it might be a little bit hard to read. I'll read the first part. In order to get something done, maybe we need to think less. Seems counterintuitive, but I believe sometimes our thoughts can get in the way of the creative process. We can work better times when we tune out the external world and focus on what's in front of us. AI or not? Yeah, Joe, how about the Pope wearing a hip puffy jacket? Right, it's really hard to tell the fakes. So this is ChatGPT. Yes, it is. It's generative AI. AI or not? Good. Most of you, almost all of you, saying no. Now, this is another one that you might consider a little bit of a debate. The iRobot, you know, the Roomba, the vacuum cleaner, it does have some coding for machine learning, I guess you could say, where it's going to follow certain patterns. It's got sensors, so it can tell where the obstacles are. And Quentin says Photoshop. So I would say no. But I don't know to what degree they use artificial intelligence. Probably not too much. All right, AI or not? You know, some of these cases, like some of these devices, maybe we're talking about a percentage of AI. How much is, you know, how much of AI is used in that particular product? Yes and no. And I would lean more on the yes side here, but again, maybe some debate. AI or not? What we have here is just a standard company's chatbot. Yes. Okay. And then what about this one here? Just a second. I'm going to I don't think I turned audio on, so let me stop my share. Probably not hearing that, are you?
No, I don't hear anything.
I can share sound. I'm going to go back. Can you hear it now?
I came in with my ex like Celine or the flex, bumping Justin Bieber, the fever ain't left. She know what she need, or I need, or she blessed. Give it my.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So yes, it's everybody knows about the Drake video that was created. It sounded just like his voice, just like his music, but it was generated with AI. Everybody knows that. Where are we going here? Okay. Nope, I don't want to go to that again. Sorry. All right. Okay, so what is artificial intelligence? Let's look at some basic definitions. You know, in some ways, I think the intelligence part of the term artificial intelligence, in one sense, it's not intelligence that we normally would think of, like human intelligence, right? But it is organized knowledge. So maybe we just haven't got the right terminology. But anyway, we call artificial intelligence, we call it what it is. It uses a set of data or sets of data, and it produces results based on that data. So similar to the activity that we just did, you using what data or information you have, and you're making a decision about that data. That's similar to what's happening with artificial intelligence programming. It's just happening a million times a millisecond. It's happening so fast that it can process so much information. And that's what's happening with generative AI today. Is even though artificial intelligence has been around since the 50s, we now have computing power that makes it possible to do so much more processing. So ask ChatGPT to give me a quick summary of the history. We'll have a look at the Turing test in just a moment, but that was Alan Turing in 1950. It was really the onset of discussion and research and coding about AI, artificial intelligence. And that, you know, you see in the 50s the real explosion of artificial intelligence in science fiction and in media. And you have all these movies in the 50s about space exploration and comic books, and you know, it just became something that became a part of our culture. In 1956, the Dartmouth workshop establishing AI as an interdisciplinary field. And then 1997, Deep Blue by IBM defeats the world chess champion. In 2011, IBM's Watson wins against human champions on Jeopardy. That's a pretty famous, well-known event. I think I remember when that happened, and I didn't believe it. I thought it was just a hoax. And then 2021, I hadn't known about this one. AlphaFold, a breakthrough in protein folding prediction. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I think there was a lot of AI that helped develop the vaccine for COVID, but it's not my area. What about you? Do you have any notables in terms of AI history? One of the things I would mention is, you know, ChatGPT, when it came out with its release in November, it now holds the record as the fastest adoption of a new product. It had, within a week of being released, 1 million subscribers, something like that. I mean, it was just, was it 100 million? Anyway, it was quite a bit. It just, people couldn't believe it. Okay, so let's look at the Turing test. I don't want to belabor that, but I do want to emphasize the need to have these kind of conversations with people you trust. That's the question that you just asked. And there I am again, merged with Mr. Sherman. The expression on the face. That's great. Okay, we're going to press on a little bit until we take a break. We're doing okay. We've been at it for a while. I want to just remind you, you know, as we're progressing through, you know, do change posture, stand up, or, you know, take a breath and get that oxygen flowing. That helps with the cognition. Welcome to whatever you need to maybe stretch a little. We're going to look at logarithms and machine learning. Just the goal here is to just increase our understanding, so we can talk about these things and maybe even do some more research and look into that. Logarithms and machine learning. So I would like to share a little anecdote that happened to me. And this was 3 years ago. And it was my experience with the logarithms. So my wife and I were starting to talk about getting a vacuum cleaner. And so we had a friend that had one. I think it was a Shark. And so we started talking about the Shark vacuum cleaner. And then I went to look at some. I think I was at Best Buy. And I looked at my phone, and my phone, I don't know what app it was. Maybe it was Google News or something. It was giving me advertisements for not just vacuums, but specifically the Shark vacuum, and specifically at that particular store that I was at. And I thought, wow, you know, this is listening to my conversations. So have you had that kind of experience? And what was your first reaction to seeing something like customized, a logarithm-based customized ads or content? I can't be the only one.
No, that happens to me all the time, and it's scary.
Yeah.
Like, is someone listening? How did that happen?
Mm-hmm. Good.
Quickly.
You might.
You know, I'll be telling someone something about something, then it pops up on my phone. The next time I go on social media, that an ad for it will pop up.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Oh, he says he disables his mobile phones. My.
Quentin. Right. Right.
Oh, maybe we need to do that. Oh.
I had a.
What?
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea if you want to, if nothing else, alleviate some of the concern. I think what I'm getting to is that we've all seen the customization. Sure, you've seen it with Netflix or another streaming service, not the particular, specifically Netflix, Amazon Prime, where your suggestions are based on information that you've given it, videos that you've watched, videos that you've searched for. There's quite a list. So I looked into this a little bit, and I asked the question, what about some of the ones we know we have more experience with, like YouTube? Let's take YouTube, for example. YouTube is one of the best, and I use best in terms of effective, right? YouTube has so much data that it's bringing in, because YouTube is owned by Google and Alphabet, I guess you could say, the parent company. So all this data that's used is coming from your browser history. It's coming from watch your watch history, videos you've watched. You know, it's coming from associated content. If you watch, you know, certain types of videos, then it's going to bring in other kinds. So there's another quick anecdote. My wife and I adopted a dog, and he's just a wonderful dog, but his name is Willie. But when we first got him from the shelter, he was a bit of a basket case. And we started reaching out for help on doing whatever training we could. And he's come a long ways in the 4 or 5 months. Well, my wife had been my YouTube account is on our TV. And so my wife's not very techie, but she had already been watching the dog videos by Cesar Millan. But YouTube recommended another dog trainer called Beckman. And Beckman is a different method, but he regards Cesar Millan as one of the best trainers out there. But anyway, I'm just giving this anecdote to show that now if I go to my YouTube feed, you know, this is after months. I think my wife has probably watched every video out there by Cesar Millan and Beckman. If I look at my YouTube feed, it's just dog videos. It's great. But that's the algorithm in action. Using all that. It also uses demographic information, your location, as we know. And then what about Facebook? Are there still some users of Facebook out there? Has everybody moved on to other or moved off of social media?
I have Facebook.
Yeah, have you seen the algorithms that work there? Prioritization.
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed the shift, you know, in the algorithms at Facebook. I'm not really much of a Facebook user anymore, but back in the day, there was a shift where it prioritized my feed differently, and I wasn't seeing you know, originally it was just a standard feed. Everybody that I followed would show up, everybody that was a friend, you know, it would show up in my feed. But then the algorithm changed, and it was more selective. So it was filtering out some of my content and preferring other. And I didn't like that. I wanted to be able to filter it myself. So I guess maybe you would agree with me. I want to have control over what the algorithm is doing, at least some control. Yes, I agree. Good. I'm glad somebody agrees with me. Also, it's a little bit nebulous with any of the algorithms that are out there in products because they're always changing. And sometimes they change. You just get used to how it's feeding you information, and then it'll change. All right. Let's try a little game. Let's mix this up a little bit. Then we'll take a little break here shortly. We're going to look at how a neural network works. So we're going to go to scribble.io. Now, I thought one way we could do this would be in some groups, but I think we'll just do this whole group. And we'll ask them to volunteer to be contestants in the game. So you go to scribble.io. Let me go there and show you what I mean. And I'll put the link in the chat. Wait a second. I spelled it wrong. I've done this before. Here we go. scribble.io. There's a couple imposters, so there it is. Scribble.io. Let me put this in the chat. Can I get like 4 volunteers to play with me? Here we go. I'm going to create a room and it'll give me a link. So here's the room. How many volunteers do I have? So I can tell that system. Can I get 4? That would be 5 of us all together.
I'll play. Me and B will play.
Oh, great. Great, great. Anybody else, or should I choose 3?
I'll play.
Oh, got 4. Patricia, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so there's 4 of us. April, okay, 5. I got 5. Do I have 5? Do I have 6? Do I have 6? Emily, okay, Thomas, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go to 8 and we'll see who comes in. Okay, I can give this custom words, but we're just going to play as a default. I'm not going to worry about all these special settings. I'm going to click start. Oh, here's the invite link. I guess I should copy that. Everybody, here's the invite link. There we go. Scribble.io. And click start. Oh, wait, I don't want to do that. That's a site checker. That's an ad. Sorry. So we click, see, that's a little trick. That's the ad. Don't click on that. Click on the start. There we go. Oh, good. We already got names in there. Okay, Quentin picked a word. All right. And the word is okay. Who's drawing? Oh, okay. It's a girl. Oh, it's 2 words. Oh. Do we type the answer in? Oh, type your guess here. Oh, it's star? We got 12 seconds. I can't guess. Girl. Oh, Snow White. Oh, gosh, that was hard. Okay, April's choosing a word. I'm just kind of narrating because we are doing a video, so everybody has sort of a commentary. And it helps if somebody's watching with captions, they'll be able to tell what's happening. Okay, arrows going to the right and left. I'm gonna put my answer in. Directions. Oh, Jeanette said the same thing. North, south, east, west. Map? No. Emily guessed the word. Oh, that was easy. Lost. Emily, what's the word? What was the word?
It was direction, but without that S.
Oh, okay, okay. Very specific. Okay. Who's next? Let's do a couple more. Okay. Direction. Emily, 385 points. Wow. Okay, Jeanette, pick a word. River. Oh, a bunch of us said sailboat. Cruise. Oh, sub. Oh. $25. Waves. Oh, Jesus says island. I'm going to type it in for you. Okay, it says I guess the word, but that was actually Jesus. He put it in the chat. Good job. That gave me 230 points. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. All right, Emily. I guess it's going to go through the first round and give everybody a turn. Emily's choosing a word. It's a group of people. Triplets. Oh, good guess. I like that it gave me the name of Crunch. I didn't give it a name, so it just automatically named me. Was it triplets? Oh, I see. Blank, blank, I, blank, blank, in. Oh, boy.
Oh, wait a
Guess?
minute.
Yeah.
Something's wrong here.
Are you
I
drawing?
messed up. Yeah.
Okay.
I clicked the word triplet, but it gave me something else.
Okay. Okay. No problem. That's fine. That's great. That's good. It was it was prisoner triplets. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, shoot. You shouldn't see that. Sorry. Okay. Hope you didn't see that. I'm going to choose a word. All right. And I'm going to draw.
We can see the word up top.
Okay, well, that's a glider. Let's see how well I could draw a glider. This guy's just flying away here. It looks like Orville and Wilbur Wright's airplane, but very simplified. All right. Somebody guess glider. All right, we got a couple guesses. All right. Oh, look at that. I didn't even know you could change the colors down here. Very cool. Okay. I can't automatically go to the next one. Oh, I can use the undo. Ta-da! Very cool. Okay. Shall we continue? Did everybody get a chance? Let's go ahead and continue. I'm gonna close, okay? Or Angelina, did you want to go? Okay, we'll do this one more. This will be our last one. Guess this. Oh. Emily guessed first. Nice. You got the clouds there. Nice. Ah, you with the blue sky. Very nice. Okay, April, Patty, are you okay if we oh, Tickle, you're gonna choose a word? Let's close it, okay? Let's move along. Closing it. It's done. How about that? All right. Okay, so before we take a break, I wanted to show you, that was fun, thank you. We're gonna look at something similar, but this one is using a neural network, and it's Google's Quick Draw. So you go to this address. No sign in is needed. Quick Draw with google.com. Oops, I forgot to put the HTTP. There we go. So we open that. There we go. And just click Let's Draw. And in this case, it's asking me to draw a moon. So let's see.
I see me. Oh, I know, it's moon. I see drill. Or toe. Or animal migration. Or shark. I see bear. Or pillow. I'm stumped. Sorry.
Oh,
I couldn't guess it.
All right, I guess my mouse was too slow. Are you trying it? Did you get in? I'll do some more demo as we get going here. Squirrel. Okay.
I see knee. Or leg. Or mushroom. Or tree. Or street light. I see lantern. Or balloon. Or giraffe. Or leafy tree.
Leafy tree.
Sorry, I couldn't guess it.
Okay, I'll do one more. Got it.
I see line. Or knee. Or pillow. Or swimming pool. Oh, I know, it's microwave oven.
Okay. So that is Quick Draw. Let's go back. There we go. Quick Draw. So if I go back to that address, there we go. And you can read a little bit about what Quick Draw is if you've never done this before. Let's compare. What's the difference between the game and Quick Draw? What's the difference? It's a little suspicious to me because it's guessing what I'm drawing, but it also is telling me what word to draw. Right. And Jeanette says, with the game, we're playing with other people. But I think that, I mean, that's the only way they could have done that. This example of a neural network is to give you a word to draw. Although there are writing recognition drawing assistance tools that are available, like Google Jamboard, not the web version, but the version that's available on an iPad. It has a built-in neural network drawing identification assistance. So you can start drawing a cat, and then it'll suggest, oh, are you trying to draw a cat? And then it'll put a nice picture of a cat. So those can be very useful. And did you notice some of the limitations of the neural network trying to decipher my drawing? I guess similar to the game like Pictionary or Quick Draw is if the drawing is too complex, if it's taken too long, it's not going to have time to identify my drawing. Like I drew for squirrel, I drew the tree first, and yeah, I should have just drawn the animal without the tree, because what was the answer was a leafy tree. But for those of you that are in the classroom, you know, Quick Draw would be a good way to introduce artificial intelligence and a neural network, because it's kind of fun. And it's great for all age. It's great for all ages. Okay, we're going to come back from our break. I'm going to leave the teachable machine for now, because this is something that you might want to investigate further. Scott Moss, who was here earlier, made a video explaining how to use the teachable machine, but it's a good way to introduce students that are ready on how to train an AI to recognize. It lets you take pictures of objects or postures. I think there's a third one too. Before we take the break here, neural networks use data, but then you think of it as multiple layers of data. So it uses probability. So it'll ask, is this a cat? Or it'll say, based on where the pixels are on the screen, it'll ask the question, is it this or is it that? Is it this or is it that? And then as it narrows it down, it uses probability. It's most likely this. And it's just doing that thousands and thousands of millions and millions of time until it can get the most likely answer is that it's a cat. And then it'll generate the response. Okay, let's take a break. Does that sound like a good idea? Okay, I'll say 10 minutes. I'll see you back at 10:31. Okay, we're getting ready to come back to live action here in a few minutes. There we go. Hopefully you had a chance to stretch and get something to drink, stay hydrated on a hot day like today. Oh my gosh, the other day I almost had too much sun without enough water to drink. I can really tell, right, when I need to get that hydration going. We're getting ready to go into our next module, looking at AI. Oops, I don't want that timer. What's happening there? Maybe just an indication if anybody's back. I haven't heard anybody say hello, so.
I'm back.
Oh, hi. Thank you.
We're here.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this workshop as we've been progressing so far. Let's just take a moment to reflect on the first part of our workshop. What stood out to you as aha, or something that you really want to look more into? I can see it's had a profound effect on all of you. For me, it's been good to hear some of the questions and wonderings, and some ways that we might make some application. Thomas says, Dream AI. That's fun, isn't it? It's really easy to use too. Okay, we're going to look at AI versus generative AI. So maybe we'll make some more distinctions, and we'll look at some definitions. So let's begin. Generative AI really refers to a technology that can create something new and original. You know, it's not so simple as if you were to put a request in Google or a search engine and ask for a photo that looks a certain way. That's just a search engine. But with generative AI, when you give it a prompt, a text prompt, it will produce an image based on that prompt. It uses advanced algorithms and deep learning that's been crafted over time to allow for those prompts to bring those specific elements into the image or into the text or into the video, whatever it is that you're creating. And I think the key thing here is the end of the statement that generative AI it sort of has that magic air to it, because it's in the creating of something new, it's something formerly thought to be only exclusive to human creativity. And here's a simpler definition. Generative AI is like having an assistant. So I want to hear from you. Have you used a generative AI and you had the experience of it being like a personal assistant? I have some experiences like that, and I know Joe probably does, since, like he said, he's been using ChatGPT for years. But I'd like to hear some of your experiences on this. But for example, what tool did you use, and what was it like having that assistant? Let's hear a couple examples.
I'll speak, Mark.
Thank you, Patricia.
Of course. So I've used both ChatGPT and Grammarly Go.
Grammarly Go.
Yeah, and so
Okay.
because we have the Grammarly paid version in our unit, when I'm writing an email or anything that's going to be published, I'm going through it and I'm like, oh no, that's not really what I want to say. So then I'll hit this. There's like a little pencil on the Grammarly Go, and it could take just that one paragraph and rephrase it, reword it, and you can say, no, I want to sound more, more brands or more professional or friendlier. So it changes it, and it fine tunes it in that sense. It's not like with ChatGPT where you can say, take paragraph 3 and include such and such wording, and this detail. That one you could fine tune a little bit more, but I think when you already have the idea of what you're writing, you just probably don't have, or maybe it's just not making sense at the time because you just want to get it out there. That's just a great way, like with the Grammarly Go. It just, that sounds better. So,
well, I want everyone to know Grammarly Go has not provided any compensation. We're not endorsing this product. Not just kidding.
Yes, I know.
But that I want to try that, because it sounds like it's more than an assistant, but less than a full-on coach. But it feels nice to have help.
Yeah, it makes things faster. That's for sure.
Mhm.
I actually also use this other one
Yeah.
called WordTune, and that one's like free for anybody.
Mhm.
You don't have to have a paid version of Grammarly, but it works the same way as Grammarly. So wordtune.com is another good one to use.
Wordtune.com and Grammarly Go.
You're right. Well, Grammarly Go, I don't know if you can have it without having the paid version.
Mm-hmm.
I because when we got the paid version, that's when I realized, oh, hey, they have an AI version on it.
Well, Patricia, I put it in chat just so it'd be a reminder because I definitely want to check those out.
Yeah.
Thomas says, thank you for sharing, by the way, that's really helpful. Thomas
Welcome.
says, I use AI chat assistant to type a recommendation letter for a coworker. But how did it do, Thomas? Was it well written?
It was pretty well written. It was very thorough. All it did was leave spaces for you to actually put, the company name and the person's name, but it was pretty thorough. I kind of messed with it a little bit to see if it could make a sonnet poet, a sonnet poem,
Yeah.
and it made the poem. Everything was perfect in the structure of it, but
Sure.
it lacked a little bit of emotion. It was
Mhm.
a little off with the rhyming words, but for the most part, it was pretty good.
Nice. Well, it's fun. It's fun to experiment with it. I love to play with ChatGPT particularly and have it write things in different styles just to compare, what it sounds like Shakespearean style or hip hop style or whatever. So that's fun. Joe, I see you raised your hand. I see that hand.
Yes, thank you, Mark. So when I introduced ChatGPT and then Bard to my learners, I referred to them as my chat buddies. And at first, there was a lot of skepticism. They hadn't heard of these platforms, and they looked at me as somewhat as a weirdo. And then as I started introducing it and using it, more and more the learners would say, hey, Kenny, check with your chat buddy. What does your chat buddy say? Or, which I thought was humorous and showed engagement.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. It shows engagement. That's a good point because, think back to when, if you use Alexa or another home chatbot assistance device, if you use one of those in your home, like we started using Alexa, I don't know how many years ago, but it was interesting to watch how at first it was such a novelty that you could ask Alexa a question and then Alexa would give you an answer. And I liked watching it with my with my kids or with other members of the household, how they would react to it, like with skepticism. Some were, oh sure, she's not going to know that. But then after some time, it was just a natural thing. So even older members of our household will be in the kitchen and say, Alexa, set a timer for 15 minutes. And then Alexa will say, whatever she says. But it is interesting, I think, how we start to interact with these assistants, become a part of our lives. Okay. Scott Moss, who was here earlier, crafted this statement that I think is very helpful in terms of using generative AI and writing a prompt. So we're going to talk about this for a second. Clarity, relevance, information, and you can see the rest. Oh, Quentin's, my wife hairdresser, uses Alexa. Oh, I see your comment, Tammy. You don't like asking questions. Yeah, And you know, I've noticed, I don't know if you've noticed this, but lately, if you do use Alexa, I've noticed it's not quite working perfectly. Like, never, not that it ever worked perfectly, but it's really, especially the music, Amazon Music, it's just not quite. I don't know if it's not hearing us correctly. It's just, I'll say, play a song by Creedence Clearwater Revival, and it'll play something classical, you know. Thinking, okay, this is not helpful right now. Okay, so good. I'm just checking the chat. Okay. So let's keep these in mind as we look at writing some prompts. The key is acting as a role, performing a task in a certain format. So ChatGPT, act as a teacher, write a lesson plan for third graders on American history, Revolutionary War. Give it those specific points and see what it does. Here's some examples with ChatGPT. Let's go ahead and open it up here. I'm gonna log in, and I use my Google account. Has anybody here not had a chance to write a prompt with ChatGPT? Never experienced it. So all of you have had a chance to experiment with it. If you want to,
I haven't. This is Beatrice. I haven't.
hi Beatrice. Okay. If you want to try it while we're doing this example, I'm going to put in the chat, the address. You'll need to sign up for an account, but you can use your Google account. However, if your Google account, like for example, if you were under 18, it wouldn't let you create a ChatGPT account because there's that limitation. But if you have, like, let's say you use your personal Google account, if your age is set correctly in your Google account, it should be fine. In the this ChatGPT is the free open research model, they call it. See down here on the bottom, it says free research preview. But then here on the left side, I can upgrade to plus and have faster access, better, you know, features. But let's just go to a new chat and let's go with that idea that I had. Does that sound like a good idea? Unless I hear a suggestion for otherwise. Acting as a third grade teacher, create a unit. I'm going to go not just with lesson plan, but unit. A unit involving on the American Revolution. Do they learn about the American Revolution in third grade? I should know. Not so much. I think they do more California history, something like that, right? I'll leave that. That's fine. We'll see what it says. On the American Revolution, see if that, I just press enter. Just to see if it's making any sense. I'm going to stop generating to save on processing. All right, so let's just take a look. Exploring the American Revolution, grade level. In this unit, students will delve into the exciting pivotal period. They will explore the causes and events. Look at that, 4 to 6 weeks. That sounds about right. Students will be able to, and then it has the objectives. So I'm going to give ChatGPT a thumbs up. That was pretty darn good. Appropriate and concise. Are there any other comments Joe, I see your hand is up. Is that from before? Okay, what I want to know is, what could I ask in response to this prompt from ChatGPT? To refine the unit, to expand on the unit? Can you translate that into Spanish? There it is. It's giving me Spanish translation of it. And then let's ask it in English again. What music would you, or not you, what music is recommended to help with this unit? Having fun yet? Let's see if it gives me the answer in English. Oh, there we go. Of course, Yankee Doodle. Yankee Doodle went to town. The world turns upside down. I don't know. Hamilton. Oh, of course, it's got Hamilton in there. 1776. Yeah, that's one I would put on the list. It's one of my favorite musicals, even though it's very long and boring. Folk songs. Wow, that was great. All right, let's start a new chat. Does anybody have a curiosity? Maybe this is your first time. Or Thomas would like to write a sonnet.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
Jeanette, go ahead.
I haven't tried it, but I heard that if you put in your prompt, can you hear me?
Yes, I got you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. If you put in your prompt, like you put that whole prompt and then you asked them to ask me questions when necessary, then you could get a more specific thing of what you want. I haven't tried it yet, but I had seen that on online. It said,
Sure.
you know.
This is Quentin, can I try yours? Acting as an Asian American comedian, create a program of jokes for 15 minutes. Okay.
Can you put at the end of that and ask me questions? Oh, never mind.
I can. Yeah, I can do a response to it with asking questions. Target mostly. That's funny.
This is kind of the reason why the actors are on and writers are on strike, because it's so easy to use this.
Yeah, it really is. It's kind of sad. Okay, that's enough jokes for me. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you were saying ask it to ask me questions, right?
Well, it's when you put in the initial prompt, ask me questions as you're generating, I guess, to be more specific. I haven't tried it, but I did read somewhere that was a good thing to do.
Okay. Write Python code to create a new website on a logger on artificial intelligence. Not Python code. How about HTML? Ask me questions. Ask me questions if you need to. It's thinking a little bit more this time, huh? I don't know what it's going to do, because is it going to just give me a sample web page, or is it going to give me an entire website? I don't know. Maybe it's going to be on strike. It's not going to tell me anything. Well, let's come back to that, okay? Let's go back to that. All right. So we talked about ChatGPT. Let's talk about Bard. Joe was telling me earlier that Bard is his preferred. What do you think? Let's go ahead and let's take a look at Bard. I tried Bard with my Laco Google, and it tells me, sorry, you can't use that with this account. See, it's not supported for this account, but I can do it with my other Google account. And here's Bard. So Bard has this little, it's bard.google.com. I'll put that in the chat. So Joe, you say you prefer Bard. Why is that? It's more accurate, it's more friendly, it's something more, it's more Google.
Yeah, more Google for sure. So ChatGPT, all of these sites, they're updating, if not weekly, daily, so ChatGPT didn't have any links to photos or that kind of stuff. But with Google, it links you to everything in the Googleverse. Plus, I found it to be more accurate and more capable of responding to specific prompts. So generating summative assessments with ChatGPT, I had to be very, very, very specific about, multiple choice questions with 4 possible answers, highlight the correct answer, that kind of thing. And it was a process. And then I found with Bard, I don't have to type in as specific information, and I get back what I'm looking for more immediately without having to refine it. So it's just I'm a Google person, and it's everything Google plus.
I like that. Yeah, I prefer just have everything integrated. In just a minute, we'll take a look at the Google tools that are built into Docs and such. I'm going to try the similar prompt in Bard that I did in ChatGPT. It didn't like my prompt, so I'm going to rewrite it a little bit. As a teacher, write a 3rd grade unit on the American Revolution. I like the little turning stars. It's kind of cool. There we go. That was an improvement on the prompt. Sure, here's a unit. And I like the language is kind of friendly too, Anyway, so it's a comparable unit to the one that I got with ChatGPT. And like you're saying, here are specific resources that are mentioned. That is nice. Websites. You notice the websites are listed, but without the hyperlinks. And I'm going to thumbs up. You also have this option to Google it. But let's just see what's coming. Let's go to docs.new. And this is with my personal account. It's not available in my Laco account, but I requested to have access to the Help Me Write in Google Docs. It's also available in Gmail, but it is important of things to come. Important. Click Help Me Write. Okay, any suggestions? Write a letter of recommendation for me to be the director of technology. I'm not applying for the job, by the way, but let's see what it says. I'm writing a letter for me that I will give to somebody to put their name on. Oh, it just made it generic. Your name has deep understanding of technology and its implications. I like that. Okay. That's pretty good. So that's built into Docs now. And if you don't have it in your personal account and you want to try it, you can ask to be included in the trial. Joe, is that a new hand or is that from before?
No, it's new. Just to piggyback, Mark, on when you were doing the unit, and then when I've done lessons. For example, I would ask for a unit and then specific lessons on the American Dream, and I would ask for poems or news articles, things like that, and they would ChatGPT and Bard would maybe give 5 examples in each one of those categories, and then I would go and I would check them because they sounded good. Yeah. And frequently, maybe out of the 5, 2 or 3, in the worst case scenario, didn't even exist. So when you're using either ChatGPT or Bard for educational purposes, it's best to fact check before you actually send it out.
That is such a great recommendation. Really important. Really important that, you know, you give credit to the app that assisted, and that you double fact check those sources. Yes. Now, what's one of the problems with all of these generative AI tools and using them with students? It's not all fun and games, is it? What are some of the problems? Safety? What about safety? How is safety an issue with generative AI and students? What about security? What about confidentiality? Right, Quentin, they don't allow, the apps are not approved. They're not created. They're not recommended. And there's a lag in our policies for you know, generative AI in our classrooms. What we do know is the only applications that are really truly allowed are those that are on approved lists, right? Especially if, and those apps, if they're not compliant with SIPA, Children's Internet Protection Act, and COPPA, and all the other legislative acts, they're in other words, they're not able to verify that they are keeping the student information confidential and private. So we have to be cautious about all that. But there's a company that does coding, and they created a free and open version of a generative AI. It's called Byte. So I'm going to take a look there. The company is Codebreaker, and they basically created this API that's available on their website that accesses generative AI text. And you don't have any login, so you don't have the issue of student privacy. There's no information gathered except the prompt that you give it. So I'd like you to take a look at that. I put the link in the chat, and try a couple prompts and let us know what you think. Share something that you're finding. So what we can also do is compare its this product, this free product, to these others that we've looked at. We've looked at ChatGPT, we looked at Bard. I'm going to try that 3rd grade curriculum again. I like the idea of what they're doing here with Codebreaker EDU, and that is, creating a safer space where students are not giving out their personal information, and it's a chance for them to experiment with it and talk about it, so that they, you're basically saying, as the teacher or as the parent or whatnot, listen, I encourage you to not create a fake Google account that has a fake name and a fake birth date, just so that you can use these tools. Instead, just go here, and you don't need to create an account. But of course, we still want to talk about your experience of it and how to tell how this might be useful, how I should use it, and what are some of the ethics behind it. And here's Byte's answer: absolutely. So it's giving me a nice title, Revolutionary Adventures. Anybody else did you try a prompt? What was your experience? I was impressed with how quickly it came up with the answer. I don't have all those features that are built into ChatGPT, like share the link. I'm going to ask Byte to give me a summary. Can you summarize this in 200 words? Okay, Quentin, thank you. That's interesting. He said he tried his prompt, similar jokes, but it took more time. Hey, man, if it's a difference of 10 milliseconds and 10 seconds, that's okay. So this is a summary. That looks like a lot more than 200 words. Okay, let's do that. You know what? I did it wrong. I should say, now can you summarize in 140 characters? There's my tweet about it. Wow, that was pretty amazing. I want to look into that unit. I want to go back and teach 3rd grade again. I finally got to teach 3rd grade, which was the only grade I hadn't taught. I taught every other grade. And then that year, I only taught 3rd grade for 2 months, and then I started becoming I was a digital coach. Just thought, what an irony. 27 years as a teacher, I taught every grade, and then I finally got to teach 3rd grade, and then I was only there for 2 months. Man, I miss those guys. Well, any input? I saw comments. Tammy did basics on geometry. Ask a few bullet points. Good. So it works pretty well for you. Good. That's chat. That's chat. All right, we're going to get into a little bit more with some art generation. And this can go deep, but I just want to kind of do an overview. So what did I do? Okay. So these are pictures of Scott Moss. He went to town and created different versions of his avatar. On the left there, that he used the Dream AI that we did earlier. Generative AI can also create art. Have you used, besides Dream AI that we used earlier, have you used any of the other art generation apps? No? So let's take a look. Dolly is one of the originals. I don't even know how many years it's been around. Dolly is part of OpenAI's project, but it's now available on Microsoft Edge or Bing. So you go to bing.com/create. Okay, Quentin used the one to adjust your photo. Does anyone want to try this? Can I just get a volunteer or two to try the Dolly at bing.com/create? You'll need a Microsoft account. And it doesn't work with the Laco account. If you have a Laco, or it might not work with your school account if you're using a school account. So let's see if anyone wants to try Dolly. And then let's take a look at Crayon. Since we're not going to have time to go over each of these, I'd like to farm this out so we can get some input from each other. Okay, where did it go? There it is. Sorry, just a second. And then can I get someone to try the Crayon? A second here. Wrong place. Sorry, I lost my chat window. Everything's discombobulated. Uh-oh. There it is. There's chat. Okay. So just indicate in the chat if you'll take one of those to try it out. Okay, you don't have to. I mean, I think it's good to get, first impressions. I can talk about my experience. Okay, Tammy's going to try Crayon. Jeanette, okay, thank you. One of the two of you try Crayon. And then Midjourney. I'll probably do a demo of Midjourney because you have to have a Discord account. Okay, Quentin, try Dolly. You're going to use the Microsoft version. It's free. If you go directly to ChatGPT, the Dolly is now free. And then Canva. Canva has AI built into it. Does anybody have experience with Canva? I might need to demo that because it's a little bit, it's all blended in with the app. It's free for education. If you don't have a Canva account, this might be a good opportunity to give it a try. If you don't have any volunteers, I'll do a demo quickly of that too. That's canva.com. And then there's Adobe Firefly. Okay, Malu, thank you. Got your message. Thank you. Let's see. Firefly is free with Creative Cloud. So if you have a Creative Cloud account, or you might have a free account with your district, here's Firefly. Firefly, I love. Anyone want to try Firefly? This would be a good opportunity. I can get it with you if you want. And then if we have time, we could look at some of the music generation. Okay, so while we're doing this investigation, for the sake of instruction, I'll take a look at Canva. There are several different parts of it that have AI built into it. They're being very innovative over there at Canva. So what I'm doing right now is just looking at Canva. I didn't see anybody want to take Canva, but I just want you to see it and just quick snapshot so you can basically have the knowledge of a way to go investigate it further. I'm fine. I don't need to update my class. Let's just continue. Okay. So right now, Canva, it can be pretty overwhelming. There's a whole lot going on. But I can click on this little star and it's going to make suggestions based on me. That's everything that's down here. All this stuff that I've created or suggestions. But let's just go ahead and start a new doc. And then I'll see some of the tools that are available. Double click there. Okay. And let's see, giving it time to load. Remember, open up your mic if you have a question or comment. So my focus is over here on this other screen. Okay, so it gives me this template. Now try Magic Write. So you can click on the tool. Let's see, let's go ahead and go to apps. See if it opens up. There it goes. There's just so much now in Canva. It's just, wow, Magic Write. It's acting a little slow for me. Maybe because I have this meeting going on. Never had it do this kind of lag. Okay, there's other apps you can add to it. I'm just scrolling down here. I'm looking for Magic Write. Oh, interesting. Magic, it's searching. There's the square. Yeah. Let me look under elements. Maybe it's there, underneath there. Go down here. Nope.
Mark, I used it.
Yeah.
So like what I did was I needed a slideshow for implicit bias.
Okay.
So I act like I was doing a slideshow. So I went to create.
Okay, just a second and I'll step through.
All
Yeah, I've
right.
done the slideshow one, but I want to go through that. This one isn't working very well. So let me go to home. Part of it is that I'm having this lag here on my.
I have a problem here too, a little bit. My internet keeps going out.
Okay.
But anyways, when I went
go ahead.
into create, the magic pops up in there for me.
Okay, it comes in contextually, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yeah, that's what I meant.
So I go to presentations.
Or whatever you're going to do at the top, you see at the top right, it says create a design.
Yes.
Click that. And then in there, I think you'll see magic. What is that? Oh, what you type in?
Yeah.
And then magic sometimes comes in on the left and sometimes up I could find it when I go down.
Here it is right here. It came up.
Yes, I guess in content, huh?
Yeah, context. Yeah.
Context.
So use 5 or more words to describe your topic.
I find that a limitation because with the 5 words, I kept like trying to give it make it be more specific, but you can't with 5 words, right?
Yeah, what was the one you just described?
I think I did one on, was that implicit bias? Yeah, I think it was implicit bias.
High school?
I didn't specify. It was for the staff, but
yeah, I don't like that 5-word limitation.
I know it really limits you. But
okay, so then it's going to give me some choices based on the suggestions. It's similar to PowerPoint Designer.
Really?
But this is more self-directed. Well, I'm not patient with that right now. I'm just going to let that go because I mean, I just wanted to my intention was to introduce you all to try this out. You know, it's not perfect, but sometimes when you're designing, having those suggestions and then options to choose from, it helps move things along. That's what I think. Did anybody try Crayon?
I did. I was trying different things, but I guess I'm too detailed, and the more detail you put in, it starts dropping some of the thoughts, I guess, and it just kind of makes it like all combined. I don't know. It's weird. I've never used it before, so maybe my prompts aren't good, but I tried 2 different ones and I didn't like the way they turned out. It it
Yeah.
wasn't how I was explaining it. So
Yeah, sometimes it takes a little while before you get that one that really works, or you have to fine tune it a little bit.
Yeah.
So what about Firefly? Did someone give it a go? I know Quentin was going to try Dolly. Did you have any luck?
I
Okay,
used
go
I
ahead.
used Firefly.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
descriptive
really.
words
Mhm.
and the choices you have for the creativity is awesome.
It's
fun.
it's just really, yeah, you can get really professional quality really fast. Okay, this is Mid-Journey, and you use Discord. It used to have a free trial, but it's so overloaded right now that you have to have a subscription to generate images. But I created a subscription because I was so curious. So in the Mid-Journey on Discord, which Discord is a free app, but I go to a channel, like here I'm on Newbies, it's called, and I just put the slash and then I do imagine. Uh-oh. I put the wrong slash. There we go. And then I write the prompt. Now you can see a lot of prompts that others write, and you can copy some of those. That's a great way to learn the craft of prompt engineering. But I could also just describe something that I'd like to generate. Does anybody have a suggestion for me? What kind of image should we generate?
How about logos? Does it do logos maybe?
Yes.
Let's
Logo
try like a restaurant logo.
for a restaurant. What kind of restaurant?
A taco restaurant. It's about lunchtime, right?
Yeah, you're killing me. Come on. That's great. What kind of tacos? Morisco style?
Oh, that sounds good. Fish tacos. Yeah.
And now let's give it some more detail about what kind of image. Graphical, it's already said a logo, but let's put graphic. High resolution. Logo for a restaurant. Let's just go with that and see what we get. And then all your images just generate in the feed. So sometimes it's a little bit of a hassle figuring out where you're like, where the heck is my stuff, you know? I definitely wouldn't use this live with students because you never know what is being generated. Although, you know, they have filters built into it, so you can't generate like nudity or things like that. But people have an endless amount of creativity in the stuff they generate, right? Where did my thing go? Oh, that's kind of cool. Look at that. An ATST Star Wars lost on a giant goldfish desert with a yellow background. Looks like a cake. Mine is gone in the stratosphere here. Maybe it just hasn't come up yet. When you mention. Nope. I can search for myself.
It wasn't the last one. I thought I saw a crab or something on there. Maybe I.
Oh, okay, maybe I did. Oh, there it is.
Oh no, it's not a crab. It's somebody's face. Is it?
Oh, no, this is okay. Yeah.
Oh, the one above it.
Okay,
Isn't
so
that like crab
oh,
or
it looks
lobster?
like a squid, right? So I click on U1, and that's gonna upgrade that one in the top sector, top left.
Oh.
And then it's gonna open that in another chat window. Young Darth Maul eating ice cream with a red background, hyper realistic. Okay, yeah, there it is. Then I can either customize that It's interesting. It kind of made the logo look like it was produced and then put on a table.
That's nice.
Anyway, that's just an idea of how Midjourney works. It go down that rabbit trail, and before you know it, an hour has gone by. Well, there's another app that I would recommend. There are hundreds, if not thousands, right? But this one came to us through recommendation, and I've tried it. I'm not saying that you should do it right now, but educade.ai. It's right now open and free as they're just getting it started. It's great. You can, as a teacher, you can create lesson plans. The sub notes is great. It has a lot. I think it even has a feature, if it's not this one, there's another one, that you can give a YouTube video link and it'll create questions for that video for students to respond to, which is just a great time saver. I already mentioned Midjourney. This picture on the left here, I'm going to do a series of workshops with some coaches at another district. And our theme is going to be SOS, Save Our Sanity. And so I was in Midjourney and I asked it to make a group of students using technology on a boat with a life preserver. And that, you see what it did? It made the boat the life preserver. But I thought that was kind of ingenious. I wouldn't have thought of that. They're not throwing out a life preserver. They are in the life preserver. So, you know, it didn't quite understand my prompt, but it gave me something interesting anyway. Okay, I see that Quentin posted the Dolly picture. I want to see it. I'm going there now. There it is. What you got, Quentin? Let's see it. Wow, this is high res. It's taking a minute. Okay, tell us what you said. Natural sea creature in Europa, ocean real world.
I attended a webinar last night about the Europa Clipper, the new spacecraft that's going to visit Europa, the moon of Jupiter. And I told Dali to, you know, create a picture of what the sea creatures would look like in Europa.
Oh, very cool. Wow. So that's just a completely generative AI created sea creature that doesn't exist in real life, but it looks so realistic. You could fool me. I'm no biologist, but wow. Thanks for sharing. Nice. Well, I have to share one music app that I fell in love with. Okay. And then we'll get close to wrapping things up. I want to talk about concerns, and we'll look at some of those that we have, some of those concerns that are out there. And then we'll look at some future trends. But let's, in terms of generative AI, we've done text, we've done some images. Now we're going to look at, I got to open up my other browser a second here. A music generation. This is a free app, but you have to apply for it. I'll show you what I mean. It's let me get the right address. Music LM. Nope. It's Hold on a second, please. I think I have the address saved in my other browser. Second. Up there. With Google. Oh, there it is, AI Test Kitchen. Okay, so I'm going to copy that into the chat so it's part of the record. Now, this doesn't work right away. You have to click on Get Started and then register your interest. They got back to me within a day. I used my personal account because it didn't work with my Laco account. I'm signing in, and there I go. That was easy. Now I tell it what kind of music I want to create. It's going to create some pretty realistic music, but not an entire song. But I can use these snippets because the music is free of any constraints based on licensing. Let's create some music. Ethereal sounding organ music with subtle harp and water flowing in background. Enter. Now, you just learned some of the prompts that work best, and it's going to give me, there we go. I'm not happy with either one of those. Sounds like I'm at a funeral. How about we change ethereal to energetic? Not organ, but synthesizer. Oops. I'm probably just not going to like that hyphen in there. I mean, that slash. That's okay. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. So you see, it just gives us kind of like the middle of a song. But if that's all I need for the intro to a video or a podcast, that's fine. Then I just click here and I download, or I copy the link. Here's the one we made. And it gives me a link to that song. Anyway, really amazing what they're doing over there. And because it's this experimental project, it's totally free. This is something that's happening in the music generation world. Love it. Okay, are you ready to wrap this session? Let's see, what time is it? It's 11:30. Let's take a look at just this slide 46. This will be here with a link at the bottom in the slides I shared with you, that this list is available at Ditch That Textbook. It's a blog. And everybody's coming out with their recommendations of the top, AI tools. And it's really a revolution in educational apps. It's just so many. But reputable blogs like this are a good place to get some bearings. And you can use the work that someone else has done to curate those resources. Here's one that I found on LinkedIn. This person, I didn't know who they were, but I thought it was a really creative way to just list what they thought were like the top 12, not just in educational realm, but in general. Lots of options there. So let's talk about issues or concerns. We've mentioned some a little earlier, but I'd like to hear what you're thinking about issues and concerns. What are some of your concerns with AI?
I think there will be some concerns with not knowing if something is real or not, and displaying it as being real to someone who may not know what AI is, as an option of it not being reality.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, fraud or actually I had just recently saw there's this show on Netflix, and it's in another language. I think it's maybe Spanish or something. They call, what was the name of it? Well, it's basically a dating show or one of those reality shows, and they take your partner and then they put in AI and change what your partner's been doing when they're interacting with other people. And you have to decide whether it's real or not. And it looks so real that, you know, it's what's being shown to someone else or presented to someone else. And whether it's with education or business or such, someone can say, look what's going on. And you don't know for sure if it's really something that's actually happening or if it's actual information.
Yeah. Wow. That's good. That, you know, every single one of these topics and concerns just makes me pause. You know, I know you do too. That's one of the reasons you're here and we're talking about this, is because we're concerned. We're concerned about being able to take advantage and provide advantage to our students. But we're also concerned about what we see as dangers and limitations. Like I mentioned earlier, one of the things I'm concerned about is being able to appreciate the humanity and those aspects of ourselves, that our identities, and that makes us essentially human. And like, for example, oh my goodness, you can't hear me? And I was saying such important things, but I forgot that I muted myself. Hello,
No,
can you hear me? Oh, you
we can
can?
hear
Okay. Okay. You know, just the essence of creativity and the experience of creating something is, we know a human experience and social, collaborative and social. So collaborating with other individuals in the room or in a live meeting like this is so much better on so many levels than interacting with a chatbot. So Thomas, you can't hear me? I guess I shouldn't ask you that. But everybody else can?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to say, check your settings. Can you hear others? Can somebody say something? I think that was Jesus.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Mark, just adding to your sentiment, which you indicated. I think, the fear of maybe the younger generation just relying so much on technology that everything, those of us that are maybe born a little bit, like in the 70s, or I forgot what I was, a little bit older, I guess. Say that, but just, now there's so much reliance on technology and everything that's out there. And exactly what you're just saying, just taking out that social, that social setting and removing that human experience, that human interaction.
Right.
I see it, but yeah.
Well, good. That's kind of affirmative to hear you say that, Jesus. Even in the reality of the discussion that we're having right now, consider how much more enriching it is to hear your thoughts and to hear your thoughts repeated by another individual. I think that's the value that we can impart to our students, that the value, there's such great value in talking with other individuals about anything, but then add on to that a focus of learning that's being brought by the facilitator, the teacher, that we can work together to come to a common understanding. And that is so much better than just, acquiring knowledge about the American Revolution. Joe says, if you want to experience the opposite of AI tech, take a field trip to Slab City near Barstow. Yeah. Oh, and Eric says their students are already spending far too much time on devices. And it doesn't seem that AI will lead to reduction thereof. That's true, Eric. That's true. But I would say, you know, and anybody else interject here. I'm just, you know, I'm passionate about this topic, especially as it relates to the well-being of our children. That if we can show them that we can interact with any technology corporately and not just individual screen to me, but you know, that we can use it in a dynamic experience where we're learning together, that is so much more focused on the things that make us who we are. In Japan, there are virtual singers called Vocaloids, and your kids are accepting as favorite entertainment. Whoa. They're AI singers? Wow. Well, there's obviously a lot of room here for a lot of questioning and concerns. Another thing that I think is vital in this is that we demonstrate empathy and genuine concern for understanding other people's concerns and anxieties about AI. Even if we just accept that I'm overwhelmed with learning a new tool. I didn't anticipate that I was going to need to get another certification so soon in something like this, you know. And I just need to know I just need some input about where to begin. Scott had produced this, and I mentioned Scott earlier, but Scott recently got his PhD related to media and education. And he developed this, what he calls academic integrity spectrum. So, you know, we can begin to have conversations with our children and our students about what is ethical. We use Grammarly, no problem. That's accepted. Spell checker. Plus. Then what about moving along that spectrum? And what is cheating? And then how do I know if I've crossed the line? Joe, you asking me about certification? Our team did a certification with ISTE and International Society for Technology and Education, ISTE, on AI and education. But then I'm looking at some other things because I really want to know, you know, what are some good paths to take and how teachers can be helped with AI. This is a video I'm going to skip over, and she explains some of those ethical issues that we were talking about. And then this is just a slide on newsworthy AI. There's so much every single day on what's happening in AI. This was mentioned a little earlier, where ChatGPT or other apps just make stuff up. They're called hallucinations. And there's some examples here. And then some other challenges are also things that we mentioned today. Is there something on this list that we forgot to mention? I talked about the, you know, implications of appropriate use in education, and those appropriate uses are still being determined. But at this time, I don't see an appropriate use for students under 13, especially, you know, creating AI with prompts. Maybe with the teacher's assistance, maybe the students create a prompt, and then the teacher or another adult could run those prompts through, and then the students could analyze the art that gets generated. But I don't know about there being a value of the students doing it live, you know, like prompt engineering. Besides, we can't predict what it's going to give us. it's going to be appropriate or not. All right, let's talk for a minute about future trends, and then we're going to wrap up. A lot of people have concerns about the loss of jobs. Okay, Emily says.